while Fred VanVleet is rehabbing from his season-long injury, he has taken up podcasting. And from the brief stuff that I've seen right now, Fred VanVleet has done a pretty good job so far. I think, based on the way he's played on the court, I feel like Fred VanVleet has very good basketball IQ, very good mind. I think he's actually very good for this role. And maybe to help kind of launch the podcast a little bit, he did a guest appearance with William Liu on the Hell and Welcome podcast. I think William Liu is probably the best Raptors content creator out there. Got Fred VanVleet on his show, and he provided a lot of closure and a lot of insight into the 2019 championship team, particularly on the topic of Kawhi Leonard. And I think I very much appreciate it, and I very much think you will as well. So for starters, let's listen into the clip here. It's minute 16 of Fred VanVleet on the show and what he had to say regarding Kawhi Leonard.
From day one, I'm not staying here.
You know what? He never said he was going to stay. Did you guys feel a way like, man, like you're not going to come back and play with us? Like we just did the whole thing.
No. And the only reason why is because he did what he came to do. And he said it from day one. I'm not staying here.
So this was kind of when I read this, I kind of chuckled to myself. Like it was kind of like we kind of knew he didn't want to be here, but now that we have like outright confirmation, he literally said, could not have been more straight up. He literally said, I do not want to stay here. I do not want to be here. It did provide some closure and clarity to the situation. But anyways, let's continue.
You know what? He never said he was going to stay. So.
He, from day one, I don't know why they traded for me. I don't want to be here. I'm not staying here. Now, Toronto put their best bid in, man. The city.
We tried, man. We tried. Kawhi and Dine. We tried, man.
Bow down like we've never seen before, man. You know what I'm saying? And so, yes, as for us regular people, we can look at it and say, man, how could you leave that? You know what I'm saying? But his mind was made up, man. Kawhi is Kawhi. I thank him eternally for helping us win a championship and carrying us to a moment to where I could be solidified and go on to make a ton of money. And we're forever indebted to him for that. But, yes, you could look back and say, oh, we wish he would have did this. We wish he would have did that. But I'm just thankful that we got it. We got the job done. You know what I'm saying? He changed a lot of people's lives.
So again, to me, I feel a good amount of closure there. From day one, like Fred said, from day one, he said he doesn't want to be here, doesn't want to stay here. So the Raptors knew what they were signing up for. They took a humongous gamble on one season, and it paid off. I mean, what would be the discourse around that team, this organization, had Kawhi left without winning a chip? Let's say Game 7 against the Sixers, the shot doesn't fall to win the game. Sixers will momentum, win in OT. Raptors lose second round again. Kawhi leaves in free agency. I mean, imagine the vibe around the team at that point. How disastrous that would have been. But, when you win, you never have to say sorry. But again, it does, provide, closure in the sense that Kawhi was never going to stay. It wasn't like, we were close to getting him. It wasn't like, what did we do wrong here? Kawhi never wanted to stay. He never wanted to be here. He made that clear from day one. He wasn't toying anybody. He wasn't stringing anybody along. He said right away, I'm not going to stay. I'm going to leave at the end of the season. But it is a bit of closure to the situation by learning, getting genuine confirmation. We knew Kawhi didn't really want to be here, but now we know for sure. He said it right away. So I really do give so much respect to Kawhi Leonard there's things I don't give him respect for, right? I think leaving, I still have some animosity towards him for leaving after winning a championship, having a desire to go win elsewhere, and having no success in doing so with the Clippers, who are completely falling off the rails, and it feels like that era is finally coming to an end without ever having reached an NBA Finals. I believe only one conference finals appearance in there. So, I mean, that brings me great joy that they have had no success with him. But he's talked about, like, even this season, they need better players. They need players chipping in more. And the Raptors had such a good team. Like you really think about that roster there. Obviously, the starting five was terrific. Kyle Lowry, Danny Green, Kawhi Leonard, Pascal Siakam, Marc Gasol. What a team. Like, this is a team that the next year, without Kawhi and Danny Green, were good enough to go back to the finals. If it wasn't for COVID, I think they would have. But they were still, they won more games the next year. They were a 2 seed the next year. They were still extremely good. That bench, though, Fred VanVleet was coming off the bench, who would go on to be an all-star in the NBA, be an incredible starter for the Raptors, signed a max contract in his career. That guy was coming off the bench. He got a finals MVP vote. Despite how good Kawhi was, Fred VanVleet got a finals MVP vote that year. Also coming off the bench, you had Serge Ibaka, terrific player, like who would start on a lot of teams, but came off the bench for the Raptors. You had guys like Norman Powell, who might be an all-star this year, who wasn't even, like, used tremendously. And it was like a roster so good that when OG Anunoby came back from injury, OG Anunoby, a max contract player pretty much, a player as good as OG Anunoby, they went, you know what? Let's not disrupt the rhythm and chemistry we've built in the playoffs so far. So even though OG Anunoby is healthy, we're good. We don't need to play OG. Like, that was the state of how good the team was. They could say, you know what, OG, we'll be okay without you for this series against the Golden State Warriors. Like, it kind of, and he obviously wouldn't have been 100%, but it's kind of crazy that was the status, and he left that for the Clippers. But where I give Kawhi Leonard a lot of respect is the fact that he showed up to a place he didn't want to be, to play for a team that he didn't want to play for, and he played his ass off. All season, all playoffs. He put in the work to stay healthy. Raptors came up with a plan. Load management, that was like the creation of load management. It's obviously so like big now, but like that's where the infancy of load management was. Kawhi in that season, how well it worked for the Raptors. Load management helped keep him healthy for the playoffs, where he was playing like 40 minutes a game. But he came to a place he didn't want to be, to play for a team he didn't want to play for, and he absolutely, positively played his ass off and put up ridiculous levels all season, rose up to an even greater level for the playoffs, all the while knowing that no matter what happened, he would just go somewhere else that season and form a super team somewhere else at the end of the season. Yet he still had the drive to go and find success with the Raptors. And it meant something to him. Like, you saw the outcry of emotion. So you never get an emotional Kawhi. The outcry of emotion when he hit that shot in Game 7 against Sixers to win this series. Like, how could you not be emotional in a moment like that? But the outcry of emotion when the Raptors won the NBA championship. Like, the vibes he got out of the parade. Like, he enjoyed himself. He enjoyed himself here. He enjoyed his time here. And at the end of the day, there's a lot to be grateful for. You know, Fred VanVleet has talked about how he's changed lives. Maybe it put Fred VanVleet into a different perspective, but I've always maintained how good of a player Fred VanVleet was, and I thought the treatment of him by the fan base near the end of his tenure was extremely unfair. But, like, what he achieved there, like, it might be what puts Kyle Lowry in the Hall of Fame. It might have been how Pascal Siakam got himself up to that large of a contract that early in his career. It might have been enough to put Fred VanVleet in a perspective that helped get him over the line and make an all-star team one year. It really did change a lot, and it meant so much to the city, and I really over the time, I mean, I'm upset about it still, but I have come at peace with the decision, of course. Kawhi didn't want to be here, but still played like that and brought a championship to Toronto, which, like, if you asked somebody 15 years ago, can the Raptors win an NBA championship, they probably would have said no. They probably would have said it's impossible. But because of what he did, we can dream and we can imagine what it would be like to win again, because we've already done it. A lot of NBA teams out there who don't have that banner, who have never even been to an NBA Finals. One of those teams is, and still is, the Los Angeles Clippers. But every time I go in that arena, I get to stare up at the rafters and see the championship banner. And there's a lot to be thankful for that. And as much as I'd already found like closure on the whole situation where like, you know, he wanted to go home. He did it. He did his service. He wanted to go home, wanted to go play in LA, whatever. I have a lot more closure in knowing that from day one, he told everybody, I don't want to fucking be here. I'm fucking leaving at the end of the season. For some reason, that makes me feel much, much better.